When are we gonna put a cover over? I'm live, by the way. When are we gonna put a cover over this light that's blaring into my cam?
Something I'll work on tomorrow night after I do the fish tanks.
Okay. Because I have to keep moving to get it.
I told you I can put up something temporary. You told me now.
I told you to bring that. I told you to bring that blanket in that, the sheet or whatever.
I'm not doing a blanket.
You said you had a
A
sheet.
sheet, it'll shine right through, right?
True. We'll figure it out. Hey. Hello. I'm glad I know that's you now, Tara. You didn't have to change your name. Now that I knew that was you, I would have known. Hey. How is everybody doing? Hope everybody's well. I'm all right. You just got home? Yeah, Miss went to go see Deadpool. She said it was really good. I'm all right. Thank you, everybody, for asking. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody leaving nice words on my video. It's been almost 24 hours, so most of my huge emotional outbreaks were last night. You should be in the clear.
Yours are.
You're dealing with everything silently.
Oh, you don't, I guess.
Exactly. I said my emotional outbreaks should be okay. That doesn't mean that the emotion is gone. He's not dealing with it well at all. Like, at all. But he's the, big, tough, silent type, so. I'm alright. Yeah, I was going live today. We had to get up early this morning and take him in, obviously. So we got up early this morning. We had a real late night. Real late night. He had to call off work, and then we took him in this morning and came home. We played our game for a little bit. I took a nap. I said I was gonna be up at 1. I got up at 5:30. I finished my book finally, so I can rewatch the movie because now that I've read the book, I want to compare it to the movie. Huh?
Why don't you just spell her?
Oh. So, tomorrow we have D&D, and I had bought tickets on Friday night to go see Deadpool tomorrow afternoon. The theater was already filling up. So I had to buy the tickets because I refused to sit anywhere but the first 2 rows. Not because I like sitting up front, but because apparently our theater, when they decided, hey, we're going to redo our complete theater, but we're going to make the seats for tiny people, not comfortable. So the front 2 rows are like the recliners that have tables and stuff. And they were filling up pretty quick for Sunday. So I bought the tickets on Friday, and so now we have to go tomorrow. So we're gonna go see that. I always sit in the back too. And I used to love this theater, and they redid it, and I don't know what they did, but I don't know. I feel like they shrunk the seats. My poor husband's knees were up his nose, and I don't know. I felt very, very cluttered, very, very confined. So I was like, well, the next time we go, I'm getting the front, and we're all the way to the side, but it'll be all right. That way, if we got to get up, we ain't got to climb over people, which is nice. They did a beautiful redo. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, they added a restaurant and a bowling alley and an arcade. And it's done really well. But considering the bread and butter is the theater, putting in seats for children probably wasn't the best idea. So I'm gonna sit up front where I'm not squished. You're gonna go see Deadpool next weekend. Yeah, I'll let you guys know. I'm sure it's gonna be good. We've seen the other ones, and Ryan Reynolds is really good as Deadpool, so um we're gonna go do that. We're trying to make it to where we can kind of go to the theater more than what we were going once, maybe twice a year, and this is the second movie we'll have seen in 2 weeks. There's another movie that we're gonna see like right after, probably next week, hopefully, maybe not the week after, and then there's a break until a couple other movies come out. I want to go see the movie that we're hopefully gonna see after Deadpool is Trap with Josh Hartnett. So it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie, which just scares me because if you guys know M. Night Shyamalan, there's always some weird twisty thing at the end. And like I watched the trailer and the trailer looks really good, and I'm just trying to figure out what the twisty thing at the end is going to be. So, but it looks good, so I do want to go see it. We almost split up this week for him to go to Deadpool and me to go to Longlegs, but I want to save money. So I don't want to have to buy like 2 pops, 2 popcorns type deal. When there's a deal there where you get a popcorn and 2 pops for just a little bit cheaper. If I've had instead of having to buy 2 of them. And the one good thing about our theater is it's free refills on anything. There's a refill station, so you can refill your own popcorn. You can refill your own pop, no matter what size, which is really nice. So we're gonna do that, and it'll be nice to, we're having our friends haven't been over for D&D in a few weeks, and we had to put off going to his mom's tomorrow because of the rotors. I'm getting the rotors fixed on Tuesday, but I'm scared to drive the car, a long distance with, them acting the way they are. They're getting, a little bit worse as we go. So I'm gonna go get them fixed. They got me scheduled for Tuesday, so we had to put off going to his mom's till next week. So I managed to get my D&D people over here for tomorrow. So we're gonna do that and then go see the movie and that'll be tomorrow. Today kind of would have been a good day to mow the lawn, but our lawn's still kind of soppy, so not necessarily. The weather itself was nice though. It was nice, like itself, but so there's that. Oh my God, what? I don't really have a whole lot to talk about. I mean, I have stuff to talk about, but like not really. Does that make sense? So I'm not really sure where to go with the live. Yoda makes me laugh because we got her that ridiculously expensive food, and she finishes her entire plate and then goes and eats the other dog's kibble. And I'm like, you're literally getting prime rib. Why are you eating TV dinners?
Not to mention, I think we're supposed to be portioning it out because that's just what she's supposed to be eating. But
yeah, that's supposed to be just what she's eating. But she walks around and decides she wants to eat some kibble too, and then I feel bad because she's skinny. So I'm like, all right, go ahead and eat it. So I feel bad, she's skinny, and I feel like if she's eating, she's hungry. So, but
We
Um,
have that. It's tough because we have that diet for a specific reason, and it's
Right.
not just because she's underweight.
right. It's
And
supposed to
if
be
we're adding the shit food still.
right. We got to stop her from eating the kibble is what we need to do, even though I feel bad. Trust me, she gets an entire like human-sized plate this
Yeah,
big.
she gets like a dinner-sized plate.
It is a significant portion of food. Okay.
But she's also only 15 pounds. She
Yeah.
don't need a lot of food.
No. And I think she just gets to where, she gets eaten and she's like, "Ooh, everything looks good." And, she's on this diet to gain weight, to have energy, for her joints, for her skin. So she's on it for a myriad of reasons. And then like she wants to eat the junk food along with it. But like, can you blame her? Everybody likes junk food. So, no, Tara, the food that I'm buying is like $110 a month just for Yoda. Like just for Yoda. Well, it's $121 a month just for her. And then I feed, I got the big kibble for the big dogs, the little kibble for the little dogs, and then Sissy gets some wet food with her kibble. Little man was also eating the wet food. He was eating predominantly wet food at that point. But so yeah, she should, scale back on the kibble, I guess, because she's getting good food. She's getting better food than I eat TV dinners. Like she's getting better food than I am. And then half the time, what happens is Buddy doesn't want to fight or even attempt to stick up for his food, and so like she eats his food. So I had to go out and get a whole nother bowl of kibble, to which then he decided he didn't want it anyway. So there is a bowl of kibble just sitting here chilling on my floor because after everybody wanted to fight for the kibble bowls, I brought another kibble bowl in, and then they were like, "Yeah, we're done. It's good." So there's just a bowl of kibble sitting here for no reason, which I'll pick up here in a little bit. So, yeah, she's her hair's growing back a lot better due to the shampoo and probably the change in diet. She's not losing weight necessarily anymore. Her energy is, I would say that's the biggest difference, is her energy level, wouldn't you? I mean, like, her energy is really good. Like, she came up and put her paws on me the other day during a live. She hasn't done that in months. She actually goes to the door and wants to go outside, which she never wanted to do that. So she's definitely better, in a better space, like mentally, than she was. So I got us some pizza for dinner, and he was taking a nap because we had that late night, and
Yeah, now it's too much scrolling.
and I wake him. I seen after I went and realized after I ordered, I saw that he had just had a bowl of something, whatever it was. But I came home and I woke him up. I wanted to surprise him with dinner, which he ate one piece. But we're gonna eat some more of it later. But I was hungry and I just did not want to comprehend doing dishes, and I was too hungry to sit and wait. So, what is Syracuse? What is Siracusa? What is that? So, surprisingly, when we took him in today, I figured with it being Saturday, that we wouldn't be getting him back till like Wednesday, but they're saying still Monday or Tuesday. So, we just asked for the pillowcase, because there was he was on a pillow, and so we asked for the pillowcase. So we'll be getting him back, and they're doing a little paw print, and we'll get his pillowcase back. And when he gets here, the day, literally yesterday, I went and got him these treats that were supposed to help his back because his back was in pain. And I forgot that I had them until afterwards. So I opened them up and I gave one to all the dogs. And I'm going to put one in a little baggie and put it with him because he never got to enjoy one. So they were specifically for like inflammation, which is what they had told me when I took him to the vet. So I tried, I just forgot. I was so busy doing everything else. Like the other day when my Temu clothes got eaten, I just brought him home from the vet and I didn't want the other dogs to bother him. So I brought him in here and I brought my husband's package in here and I set my clothes on the counter, not even thinking. I was going to go in and try them on and everything. And then I accidentally left them on the counter, and they love pairing up clothes. This is not the first time. If you leave anything on the counter, it's fair game essentially. But I will say this, I don't know. I guess Sydney got the memo. I left the bag last night on the counter, and she did not touch it all last night, all this morning. She never tried to pick it up. And
Yeah, I think I made the point very clear.
yeah, they tore up my clothes. We came home and there was a deck of Uno cards that had been sitting there for 2 months on the table. And for some reason, right after they tore up my clothes, I went to go get him and they tore up the Uno deck. But yesterday she did not touch the stuff up on the counter. I don't know. Yeah, it was you guys, if you guys were on a live with me yesterday, you guys asked how he was doing, and I literally swung around and I said, oh, he's right there, he's walking around, he's great, he's doing really good. And like 2 hours later, that's what I say, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, the look of surprise that was on the nurse's face at the clinic.
Yeah, because we had just brought him in. He'd been to the vet twice in 2.5, 3 weeks. And so, we brought him in and I was like, you remember when I brought in my dog? And she was like, yeah. And I just kind of looked over at the box we were carrying and I was like, and she just had this look on her face like, and I was like, yeah. I said, I just took him to the vet again yesterday. I said, I was supposed to bring him to that vet. And I found a vet that could get him in a day sooner because they wanted me to wait 2 days. And I found a vet that got him in yesterday. And so I didn't end up going to my normal vet. And I took him to the vet yesterday. Right? Yeah. Huh?
We used to go to that vet.
Who?
The one that we dropped him off at.
That's the one we go to. That is our vet. That is our vet. That's where he was supposed to go that day. That's where he was supposed to go Friday. I took him in Thursday. It happened on Wednesday. So I took him in Thursday. And I was supposed to have him in Friday. And I couldn't get a hold of them because their phones were down to cancel the appointment. And we took him in. I took him in Thursday and had him looked at and everything. And we figured we knew what the issue was. And I spent a couple $100 trying to, take care of the issues that they told us. And apparently that was not all the issues. So happened out of nowhere last night. When I was at the vet with him, I was taking pictures. I just had a bad feeling. I've had a bad feeling for a few days. He had an issue Wednesday night, and so we took him in, or I think it was Tuesday night because they made me wait 2 days, and they wanted me to wait 3 days to get him in on Friday. And that was the main reason we were taking him in. And we thought we had, they checked him out. They said, okay, well, we'll give him some of this and we'll give him some of that. And we figured that probably Sydney sat on him or something. They said he was a little, sore. And so I got him some treats for his joints. And
I don't think that's what did it.
No. But
caused his back to be sore.
Yeah. But we didn't know anything that was going on, and so Just kind of happened out of nowhere. Yes, I do know why he passed, but we're not going to talk about it. I don't want to talk about anything right now. It sucked, and I'm good right now. I don't really feel like crying, so we're good. It was traumatic enough being there. So my friends were really great. Last night was really tough for me, and my group of friends was very, very supportive and there for me the entire time. So I really appreciate them for that. So it's always good to have good people around. And I feel bad because I need to check on my friend. My friend was very concerned and was trying to help me with some stuff, and she disappeared. And she had a family emergency, and I checked on her, and I haven't heard anything from her. So I need to check on her again. Thanks, business. I appreciate you. I know you do, Tara, and I'm sorry. Like I said, if I would have known that you were the Tara, I would have checked on you, but I didn't realize you were the same Tara. Tara here is the same Tara that her cat was assaulted by some boys, and she did everything she could to help him, and he ended up passing in her arms last week. So she understands what I'm talking about. And the good news is they are pressing charges on the boys. So yeah, we went and saw the movie Twister opening weekend. It was really, really good. It was really, really good. Like, I cried like 8 times. It was so bad. I cried so much, dude. Like, I was not okay. I was not okay by any stretch of the imagination. I don't do well in like nature movies to begin with, but there was just some scenes that were like, they got me. Yes. There was some boys, and they assaulted the cat. And Tara's a good friend of mine, and I didn't realize that her YouTube name was different. And otherwise I would have checked on her, and I felt really bad. Yeah. No, if you haven't seen it and you're thinking about seeing it, go see it. Like,
totally worth it.
It is
not as good as the original.
It is in its own way. It is in its own way.
I don't think it is. And to call it a sequel is
it's not bullshit. A sequel. The
only thing that made it a sequel is part of the equipment they had at the very beginning.
Right. Like, it was a completely different movie, but I also think that because of the instruments they had in the beginning, they would have had to tie it to that movie somehow, or people would have been like, this is a ripoff. So I understand why they kind of went with it. But it's the storyline for me. I the original is a staple in this house. An absolute staple. But for me, I don't know, like, I just really, really liked this one.
It was my qualms over the title be damned. It was a very good movie.
Yeah. There was a scene that I really wish that they would have went with my cinematic vision, but I'm not going to say what it is, but there's a flashback-esque scene, and they could have done just a little better with it, I think, in my opinion. But it's like, the one thing is, like, is the good guy the good guy? Is the bad guy, or are they both good guys? Like, that's the only thing that was like, but I will say this, for those of you who wait for the cow scene, there's not a cow scene. There's a different scene, though. It's fairly similar. It's a nod to it. They couldn't rip off the "we have cows" scene, obviously, But there, you guys, for those of you that watch it, you will know exactly what scene I'm saying that they did. They nodded to it. They nodded to it.
Actually, there is a "we have cows" moment.
Oh yeah, there's
But it's on TikTok.
on TikTok. There's a cute video. So some people went to go see Twisters. A family went to go see Twisters, and one of the kids dressed up in a cow outfit, and before the movie started, and the kid goes running across the aisle, and you hear the mom go, "We have cows," and the cow disappears, and it comes back, and they go, "We have another cow," and they were like, "No, it's the same cow." The
whole
scene
with, "I gotta go. We got cows."
Yeah.
Whole 9 yards.
Yeah, it was super cute.
It was super cute.
But they do nod to it in that movie. Literally at one point I almost yelled, "We have cows." Because there's a scene like you're set up, and you're like, you're just waiting. You're like, is there cows? Is there cows? There's something else. So I think that they did a really good job with it. I really think that they nodded to that scene.
Take a moment.
No.
From that.
No, that
the
was
storylines are very
similar. They're very similar.
Like you would expect from a movie in that chain, I guess you could call it, not a series.
Yeah. They're very similar. I mean, if you've seen the first one, you'll go, okay, the second one is kind of like literally.
Okay, we're kind of following the playbook.
God, what do they call them? Hold on. It's not a remake and it's not a sequel. It's like a reboot. It's like a reboot.
I wouldn't even go that far because the prop at the very beginning, you can't call it that because they have the actual prop.
Well, that's why they say reboot. It's like it's
old. It's like she's old.
Well, right, but essentially with a reboot, it's like doing the same movie over just differently. So it is like a reboot, but it's like an updated reboot. It's updated.
Yeah, at one point, I do think they talk about those meteorologists.
Yeah, it's an updated reboot, is what it is. They brought it up to the times. It's the
same story in modern times.
Yes,
basically.
it's a reboot. It's a reboot. So they had very similar characters, and they had Yes, and the official name's Reboot. But the one thing that was cool, and I think my husband really liked this, is how they really updated the equipment. How they changed up they really did a good job with the equipment. And if you guys like Sweet Home Alabama, there's
his truck?
No, not the truck.
the truck.
The truck. There was 2 different endings. I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody, but there was 2 different endings. When you see the ending, you'll know what I'm talking about. They could have went one way and they could have went another. But no, the truck is amazing. But no, there's definitely a Sweet Home Alabama vibe to the one guy. He is Sweet Home Alabama. If you guys ever see Sweet Home Alabama,
Glenn. Glenn, what's his name? The actor's name is Glenn.
The actor's name is Josh.
No, the actor's name is Glenn. Glenn something.
In Sweet Home Alabama?
No.
Oh.
In Twisters.
Oh.
He has a very down home.
Yeah, he's very Sweet Home Alabama, the character in Sweet Home Alabama.
Feel.
But no, I'm talking about like how they did the imaging and the radars with the military equipment. Yeah. I thought that was a really good very
with that Doppler radar thing.
I thought that was really good.
That LiDAR.
Yeah,
wicked.
But I will tell you, the opening scene, it's hard to watch. The opening scene's pretty hard to watch. You think you know what's gonna happen, and then it kind of happens the way you think, and then it gets worse, and then it gets really bad. And so like the first scene, I was already pretty much done. I was already pretty done.
Yeah,
first scene.
Oh my god.
First scene, I was already pretty much done. Like I knew that this was gonna be it for me, and I was gonna be bawling the whole time. And there's a scene from that first scene that again flashes back later. I'm not gonna say anything about it. Again, cried. Then of course, if you guys remember Aunt Meg from the first one, Aunt Meg's not in here, but there's an Aunt Meg-esque character, which well, I'm not saying nothing. I don't want to say nothing. Cried there. I cried a lot. And then where they ended up. And then I will tell you this. I will tell you guys a story. If you guys don't know the story, people who know me know this story. And my husband knew. He knew. And it got worse because when he saw because this isn't going to be a really big spoiler because this is areas.
I originally avoided all trailers and everything for this movie. I wanted to be surprised.
Well, we're sitting there and there's a scene where they're at an open air rodeo, and as soon as my husband seen the bleachers, he'd been very still the whole time, and his hand just reached over because he knew, because I started losing my shit because I was at a fairground in 2019, 2020, 2000, it had to be 2019. It was 2019. I was at a fairground and
no, it was 18 because she wasn't adopted yet. It was just before the adoption was. It was the summer.
Well, the summer that
we adopted her.
Okay, well, the adoption went through August 7th, August 13th, and we went to the fair the week before, so it was before.
Before the adoption.
Yeah.
Before the
right.
finalization.
So 2018, we were at a demolition derby in Michigan, and it was raining. No big deal. They just said there was going to be some rain. And it was exactly like this movie. We were sitting there and it was raining, and the next thing you know, the sirens started going off, and everybody was screaming. There was a panic. People were bowing over each other trying to get out of these bleachers. We were running for any structure that had any type of stability. Me and Ember
had just a couple years prior
put up new bathrooms. There were bathrooms, and they stuffed us all in these bathrooms.
They had just
and while I was running, it was out of a movie. Seriously, while I was running, I got separated from Ember and my mother-in-law, and I was screaming for them, just screaming for them. And we all made it in, and the fairgrounds were fine. There wasn't big, huge devastation or anything, but it was terrifying. So in this scene, they're in an open air rodeo, and I'm like, this is going to be
spoilers.
Yeah, this is spoilers. There's a small spoiler here, small spoiler.
If you need to mute.
Yeah, small spoiler here. There was a situation at the rodeo, but it was just seeing the rodeo that clicked it back for me, because I knew that there was what the movie was about, and seeing the bleachers, knowing what the movie was about, it clicked for me. And I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry. And then later on, they really fucked with the crowd. Later on, they fucked with the crowd, and I'm not going to go into it, but later on, they fucked with the crowd, and I cried there too. So that was just wrong and evil. I was waiting for it to happen, but anyway.
I can't remember what part you're talking about.
Where we were. And where they were. And where we were.
Oh.
So, but if you guys haven't seen it.
I got called a dick during that part too.
Yeah, well, if you haven't seen it, go see it. If you liked the original, go see it.
Because the people they run into.
Yeah, there was some. Oh yeah, that was. Yeah, that was still the Bronco scene though. That was when they ran across from the field into the hotel. Yeah. Well, it's yeah. Well, you've been a little AWOL. I'm sorry to hear that there was a death in your family. That sucks. Sam. So the whole movie does take place in Oklahoma, of course. It's Oklahoma, and I know you live in Oklahoma, and I actually thought about that while I was there. I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel. I don't know. It's good though. It's good. I think you should.
It's a good movie. And by now you're used to that kind of weather and knowing how that goes.
So good. And then tomorrow we're gonna go see the Deadpool movie. And I'll let you guys know how it is. Miss already went. She went ahead of everybody. She said it was good. So, and then hopefully next week or maybe the week after, we're gonna go see Trap. Which again, M. Night Shyamalan, so I'm a little concerned about the end. He always does some weird wonky end.
See one of her movies with her.
You said it looked good.
It does, but that's not my kind of movie. But just like my movies aren't really your cup of tea either.
I do like Deadpool. I'm going for Deadpool. I'm not going for Wolverine. I'm going for Deadpool.
I want to see Hugh Jackman, man. He's a hot bastard.
But I love Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I think he's really funny. So that's the main reason. I've seen the other two Deadpools. So I don't know if you guys know this, but Venom's going to be coming out. I think next year. It's already been approved. So now you want popcorn from the movie theater. Ours, they kind of burnt ours. I was kind of upset. Like it wasn't as good as it normally was. So I'm hoping that tomorrow it's better. I ate it for like 3 days afterward. I don't care. I will eat stale popcorn. I don't care. I will stale popcorn doesn't phase me in the slightest.
Fuck.
Yeah, I know that the texture is weird, but I will totally eat stale popcorn. I guess the texture doesn't deflect me too much, so I'm not a Milk Dud fan. I'm not a Milk Dud fan. But well, Tara, I told them what happened and whatnot. So, but we're gonna go. Oh, we bought the tickets already, so it's not like we can't. I bought them Friday night. I went to see how full the theater was because we went to go see Twisters opening weekend and it was sold out. Sold out. The people in front of me went to get seats and they're like, "We have one seat." There was 2 people. They're like, "We have one seat, but you can buy it for the next show." And so I went to go look for Deadpool because, again, opening weekend, but it's Sunday. And they already had about 20 seats sold and a lot of where we wanted to sit. So I had to buy them ahead of time. So, we went ahead. 2 days. I had to buy them 2 days ahead of time. I bought them Friday night and we're going for Sunday afternoon. So we wanted to make sure because I'm not sitting in those fucking tiny ass seats again. No, thank you. So the cool thing is though, because like I went to the movies with somebody, they wanted to sit up front. I didn't want to, but you'd think that you'd be like this the whole time, but it's actually not bad. It's actually not bad. I was shocked. And they have little tables too. Like it's a recliner, and then there's a little table that comes up on top. You can put your popcorn on and stuff. Where we're from, the whole theater's like that. The whole theater is recliners, and they're heated. So the theater that we go to now, the one that was redone, was our go-to theater. And I don't know what happened, but apparently when they redid the theater, they thought, well, we just want to get as much bang for our buck and as many seats as we can. And they bought smaller seats because I know for a fact those seats were not that small before. I know I've gained weight. I did not gain that much weight. And my husband's knees were up to his damn nose.
Yeah, I've never been that uncomfortable in those seats before.
No. I mean, they're really crammed in. Like you're like this. Like not even kidding. Like you can't even put your arms and like trying to get your pop. Like I'm like, no, I'm good. I said, if we come, I'm only going if we sit in the recliners because I was in the recliners last time and they're actually really comfortable. They're about the same size as seats used to be. They just recline better. But the theater closest to us is kind of janky. So like we would travel to go to that one. And now like, if there's not recliner seats, I'm going to have to find me a whole ass another theater because I'm good. I'm not. No. The world is not tall people or large people friendly, and my husband is both. So I don't even know how he sat there. I don't know how I am short and I felt confined. I'm short and wide, and he is tall and wide.
The carbonation syrup mix in their soda machine is great. It didn't make me feel bloated at the end of the movie.
Yeah, no, the pop was good. The popcorn this time, though, it was a little burnt. I'm hoping that it redeems itself tomorrow. It could have just been a bad batch. Because it got better when we left. So, I'm hoping it gets better.
Yeah, the refill machine had some really good popcorn.
Yeah, the refill was a lot better. And, I love the fact that no matter what size you buy, there's free refills. So, you can buy like a small popcorn if you're one of those people who just are going to eat a small one and then brings them home. No, we have to have this big, huge, large bucket, and then we have to refill it on the way home because I will eat it until it's gone. I don't care. Your husband's 6'6" and 285 pounds. He's just a little bit bigger than my husband. My husband's 6'3.5" and about 250. So, yeah, we now the theater that I lived by. I actually never got to go to the theater when they had recliners. I never really go to the movies a whole lot, so I actually never went when it had the recliners.
Bullshit, you went?
No, if I did, it was like once. We didn't really go to the movies. Now you did. I remember you taking Ember. I remember you taking Ember to the movies. I have a picture of you guys sitting there with her broken leg. I have a picture of you guys at a theater. I don't remember what you went to take her to, but you guys are in a theater and she's in her wheelchair. You guys had to sit up there. That was here. That was here. That was in Kentucky. My bad. That was in Kentucky because she broke her leg in 2019. My bad. But I don't remember ever going to that theater. But I don't have a lot of memories. So your husband's 5'6" on a good day. You got the pocket model. I got the blueprint. They needed to fix him. He's a little too tall for my liking. He's a little too tall for my liking. I like short guys. I got the tall guy. I got the tall one. But I'll tell you, man, I was uncomfortable in those seats. Like even my leg room, I was uncomfortable. I mean, like if anybody had to walk by, they were not going to get by him. Like he was all leg. Like all leg.
Yeah, nobody was getting by me.
Yeah. It was bad. But this time, I have us sitting on the end. I could have put us over there, but this way, literally, we're the last two seats, so we can just get out really easy if we need to. So, Randella talks about her short husband. Amy says, "Is he Hispanic?" Because a lot of Hispanic men are short, and she's like, "Nope, he's Alabaman." Oh, I got a good guy. I do most days. Most days. I said most days. Calm down.
That's almost in call for a purple nurple.
I'll nurple your head. I'm hungry. I'll have to dig into that pizza here a little bit. I only end up having 2 pieces, which I usually have 3, so I wasn't too far behind, but I usually eat like portion of it and then I'll save like a piece for later. But
15 minutes before I get off here, so I'm not going to be talking about it until it does yet.
Yeah.
I took that nap and it didn't help.
Mom, that's why I wanted you to go to bed early. So because you didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night, you woke up with a headache, and you got to get up early tomorrow. So we got to get the house in order before my friends get here. The dogs tend to destroy it a little bit during the night. You're gonna attempt making a Philly cheesesteak pizza tomorrow with steakums.
Ooh, send me some.
Yeah. No, thank you, ma'am. That's not how that works. They walked by the bowl of kibble that has not been touched the entire time I've been on live. And Leo was like, "Ah." Nope, I picked it up. You can't have any. You didn't touch it the entire time it was down there, dude. The minute somebody walked by, Yeah, my husband he's gotten very into Philly cheesesteak type stuff recently. Why is my camera all blurry? That's better. I don't know what a steakum is. Is it like a... What?
You don't know what?
What a steakum is. So... That's what I figured, Randella. I figured it was like, like the fajita meat or whatever. This ear is so infected, dude. It's so bad. I wear earplugs, and the earplugs are pissing me off. So it's just been a freaking nightmare for a couple of days. Why would everybody think you're a Sasquatch at 5'6"? That's not even that tall. I have a lot of female friends who are like 5'9", 5'10", 5'11". It's going to be a fairly early night. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep. And then we got to get up pretty early for the D&D to come over. Yeah, an average woman is 5'4", 5'4.5". Um, I went to text my friend and I forgot. Hold on. Well, good thing I reiterated. No, Billy the Puppet from Saw. That's my favorite character is Billy the Puppet from Saw. Very, very, very closely followed by Ghostface. Very, 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 very close. That's 1.5.
Which is weird. Because Billy was a prop, not a character.
Right. But he
So
symbolized.
technically, your favorite horror movie character
would be
would
Ghostface.
be Ghostface.
Yes. But Billy was a symbol for why the movies happened. Not the.
That's like saying my favorite horror movie character, though, is Freddy's Claw.
Okay. That's fine.
Or is Fedora. That's not a character.
It's fine. You don't understand the movies. It's cool.
I don't need to understand it.
She asked me, just mind your business. She asked me something. She's making a project. I told her what it was. Ghostface is hard to put into a project as one thing. I will tell her she can use Ghostface, though, if she needs to. Oh no, he doesn't. He doesn't do scary movies.
Nope.
No, he doesn't do scary movies. I don't know if she's in here.
Every now and
Oh,
then
you're
I do
in here.
thrillers.
No, he does not do scary movies. He doesn't do scary movies. I don't do nature scary movies. Those are my kryptonite.
I like end of the world movies, apocalyptic movies. She don't.
I won't go near them. I actually had to turn off the day after tomorrow because I started hyperventilating for Roe.
Which is one of my favorite movies.
I literally I was hyperventilating so bad I had to shut the movie off. I finished it, but I had to shut it off and regroup. Those are my horror movies. Those are terrifying to me, which is surprising that I love Twister as much as I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's very surprising.
Well, Twister's not an end of the world weather movie.
Yeah, I guess, but it's still terrifying as a person who grew up with that crammed down my throat.
Or it's your thriller movie.
Yes, it's Twister's a thriller movie to me, 100%. Would you poke her? Yes, Twister is a thriller movie to me. Day After Tomorrow is a horror movie to me, 100%, 100%.
Excuse me.
Terrifying. Plus you go into Twister knowing everything's going to be okay at the end, which helps. You go into Twister knowing it was not ever meant to be a devastation movie. So, I mean, that kind of helps for me. But yeah, but my favorite, it because I guess the thing is if when you say what's your favorite horror character, it would be weird to have Tobin Bell's face on something. You know what I mean? Billy signified him as Jigsaw, essentially. He was the by proxy. I don't think he'll understand that, but so, babe, essentially, I guess why Billy is a quote-unquote character is he's the by proxy product. They use Billy to hand out the games. They use Billy to deliver the tapes. So he's kind of like the by proxy product. He's not the one who did it, but he's like the by proxy product, kind of. So, and it would be really, really weird to have whatever she's making. It'd be really weird to have Tobin Bell's face somewhere, okay?
I can continue the argument, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, we can agree to disagree. I got a wing of hair. But
my beard does that.
Huh?
The side of my beard does
Yeah.
that.
But if I was to absolutely say my favorite horror character, it would be Jigsaw himself. However,
Nikki! Not your water.
But it's so good. But there's he's not. He just looks like a standard guy. You know what I mean? I have one for you. I'll hold on.
Excuse me. God damn.
What's that dude's name? Hold on.
Found my auxiliary cable. Underneath my Star Wars sign. Not in the drawer. I got nothing. Go away.
So,
Go away. I'm gonna go to bed midnight. You hear me?
yeah. Will you be for 7? You'll be okay. Okay. That's fair. I can agree to that. That'll be 7
I was
hours.
thinking because your camera's hanging down a little bit. You can see.
It'll be 7 hours though.
Yeah, we'll be good. And if I need to, I can go to bed a little earlier tomorrow night too, instead of 3 o'clock.
Yeah. That's Kira's fluffy butt behind us. Look at that tail. That tail's like, she's got a beautiful tail, does she not? That is a tail. That right there is the most distinct Great Pyrenees butt you'll ever see. That brown patch, that shows that she's Great Pyrenees. Great Pyrenees usually are that nice creamy white with like a big splotch of like a tan on their butt. Most Great Pyrenees will have that. And she's also got one. Does she have one on the back of her head too?
Yep, it goes from ear to ear on the back.
Yeah, and then it goes across the crown on the head. Like she's like Great Pyrenees. She's not a mix.
Oh, no, God.
I had a neighbor who had a litter. A litter. Can you imagine how expensive that litter was? A litter. She had like 6 of them. She's very pretty. Miss Ma'am.
Get out of that water. It's not yours.
They have a 5-gallon water bucket out there. This water is in here for the littles that stay in here. But they want it because it's forbidden. They have a 5-gallon auto waterer out there that we fill daily. And I got this bowl in here for the littles because the littles like this. They got all their little beds in here. There's a bed for every dog in here. And so I keep a thing of water, and for some reason they want to drink that water and not their water. Ooh, thank you, Kimmy. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. I don't recognize your name. Yeah, they always want what isn't theirs. They love the forbidden fruit. They love the forbidden fruit. Whatever it is, if it's forbidden, they that's what they do. So we have an auto water where we still need like 2 more auto waterers, but we got one for the top up here. It's actually in the mailbox. So we're gonna fool the fish tanks tomorrow and put an auto water in because that sound just goes straight through my skull. Couldn't have come at a better time, to be honest, because I'm like, I am about to lose my mind. But let's see, what else is there? It's been pretty nice. I think it's gonna rain tomorrow. He was gonna do the yard tomorrow, but with the weather possibly being whatever, we decided we would go to a movie. So, like I said, we bought the tickets Friday, and now we gotta go. So, hey, how are you? I'll be down there Tuesday. I'll be down there Tuesday about 1 o'clock, 12:30, about 12:30. He wants to see the Alien movie. The only Alien one that I ever liked was Alien versus Predator. I thought that was good. But I like the Predator movies. The newer ones. So for me, I liked Alien versus Predator, but that's about it. I was never a huge fan of like the Alien movie. Oh, it's been rescheduled. They rescheduled it, I guess. From what I understand, they rescheduled it. So not I don't have all the particulars. Contrary to Pink Hat's rhetoric, I do not speak to her that often, and it's usually to ask a question or answer a question. Yeah. Sarah had it out there that like we're some type of besties now, and that's not even remotely true. We if we have a question, we all ask a question, and that's about it. Pink Cat decided to go on a live a couple days ago, put out there that me and her talk every day and we're really close, and I'm like, you and her don't talk, number one. So how would you have any type of information other than to put out your nonsensical bullshit? No, we don't. We, if she's got a question, I answered. If I have a question, she answers it, and that's maybe once a week. Well, she's full of crap all the time. That's who she is as a person. By the way, I do want to correct something apparently that was said. She made the comment that I never warned her. I will remind anybody who happened to be there the night that me and Courtney had her in the box and specifically warned her for about 30 minutes. And she wanted to play the, you're wrong. But me and Courtney had her in the box for about 30 minutes. And she didn't want to listen. And I told her, I said, you're going to be me. I said, whether it's a month, 6 months down the road, I said, you're going to be there. Don't listen to me, but you'll be there. She's there. So she's putting out the rhetoric that I never warned her, which is a crock of shit. She's putting out the rhetoric that me and Fancy are besties. We are not. It's a truce. It's a truce, and we speak civilly when needed. That's it. I spoke to her for 2.5 days where we were going at each other about the things that had happened and whatever. And we came to a mutual conclusion of, I realized that I blew off the handle because of my PTSD. I realized that a night or two prior, and before she talked to me, I realized it on a live. I was talking about it and realized. And so, I that part was my problem, and her problem was how she handled how I talked about it. I shouldn't have talked about it. So I guess shots fired me, but I talked about it nicely. She chose to take it to an ugly place, and then tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat. Neither one of us was ever right in the way we acted, period. So some things we were basically agreeing to disagree on for the most part. There was one big source of contention that we had between the two of us that is frustrating. And it was that portion that made me realize that no matter what, I was never going to get to be where I was with her ever again because of her particular thoughts on a particular topic. So, she got called out in that by Kendall or Brandy, plus in the comments. I heard she got called out. Who is on Morbid with KJ? Who's KJ? They come in here sometimes. If it's the same KJ, I don't know. There's a KJ that comes in, and I think you guys might be talking about Katie Joy. I'm not sure. I don't ever since I was ambushed in Morbid's live, I don't go to his content. I feel like Starlight was stirring the shit pot, set me up. Whether Morbid was in on it or not, that part I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you if he was in on it. He could have very well just been listening because those two are friendly. I don't know if he was just listening to her with, blah, 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 blah. Starlight set me up, period. She is a shit stir. I tell her that when she comes in here, that she's a shit stir. She does her thing. She's a crafty little hobbit, and she does things very sneakily. She never outright trolls. She's never outright rude. But she stirs the shit pot. And she stirred it that night and set me the fuck up. And he knows. He knows because there was a multitude of followers that came to him and said, well, that was not right. And he never reached out to me. So whether or not there was accountability to be had, I have no idea. But to me, something should have been said. So I make it a point to not journey over there.
Knock it off.
So, and then there's the whole controversy with him now and what people are saying about him, which may or may not be true. I'm not going to attempt to get in that ball of worms. I don't know why they're doing it, where they're getting it. Supposedly people have seen things that I've not seen. So I'm staying far away from that. That's the whole thing. I can't stand when people accuse people of stuff without showing absolute proof, not doctored proof. So until I see something with my own eyeballs, I'm not going to make a comment on whether I think something is right or wrong. I just think considering where it's coming from, take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, that's why she has a 727 in her name. So yeah, this would be her birthday. I never did watch episode 6 or episode 7 or episode 8. I feel like I should. I never got to watch them. I've been busy. I feel like I need to watch them and see if there's anything else that I know that didn't get put on there. Right. And if there is proof, then do something, with allegations that bad. If you have proof, then somebody needs to see said proof. But if it's just, people running their mouth or conjecture, you can't be putting that shit out there without solid ass proof. And if there's solid ass proof, the law needs to be involved.
Yeah, and be careful because you get close to what they call it, defamation.
Yeah.
If it's something that illegal and you're making accusations with no proof.
Right. And people don't even understand that. You're now halfway to 70. Oh no. I was halfway to 70 like 7 years ago. Shut the hell up.
No, you weren't.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I was.
You haven't even played that long.
What?
Oh, you're talking age. Sorry. I thought you were talking to Miss.
No. Good night,
Sorry,
Sam.
It's been a long day.
Yes, I'm the same age as your husband with the same name. I know.
And you know how much hell it is living with this shit. Save me!
Oh, you were there, Kimmy? I gave up. I just sat there like I did all the times before. I just sat there, just looking amused. I just kept saying, "I appreciate you." I wouldn't even like. Here's my thing. I'm very big on when you go to somebody else's panel, even if you are looking like the horse's ass. I'm not going to go on somebody's panel and disrespect the host. She was doing a fine job of that, personally, in my opinion. That's my opinion. But Yoda's going to town, man. She's drinking her weight over there. I'm not gonna disrespect the host. So what I'm not gonna do, regardless of no matter how much I'm being goaded into it, I'm not gonna argue.
Oh, I'm like, I thought she was over here itching. It's the bag in my ear crumpling next to my ear from the fan.
Jeez. Right. Audra says hi.
Hi, Audra.
There goes the Yodi Bren in the background. That's the Yodi Bren. Oh my gosh, there's this girl that I follow on TikTok, and I'm scrolling. Y'all. Look at this. I fucked with my husband, dude. I fucked with my husband. Hold on. He didn't even know. Hold on. Hold on. I have to get through it through my other inbox. Hold on. When I tell you how I got bamboozled the other day, yo. So I'm scrolling the TikTok, right? And I see this.
So tell me about your life nowadays. You guys work?
I'm a social media influencers.
So you do a lot of social media stuff. So you're at home a lot?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You get out of the house much?
No.
So
And I
tell me
couldn't
about your
figure out
life.
for the life of me.
So this is my best friend. I just wanted to show
Why
him off
somebody had
because
my
he's really
dog.
cool, really awesome. He makes my life better, and I love him a lot. So this is my best friend.
I was like, for a good 10 seconds when I seen that first video, I was confused. I was like, how does somebody have my dog? I thought I posted it and lost my mind. Looks just like just like Sissy Noodles. She is underneath my feet. Looks just like Sissy. Scared the shit out of me. I couldn't figure out when I posted that video and where I got a damn black pug. I've learned when people are being assholes, just let them shine. Let them shine. I'm not even going to argue with it. Just let them shine. You do you, boo. No, Sissy's down here. Me and Sissy were snuggling. We were reading the Hunger Games together. So I got done reading and I says, okay, we're going to go see Dad now. She just looked at me like, no, we're snoozing. Like, no, we're getting out of bed. We gotta go back in the other room.
Yeah, I've been by myself all damn day.
We didn't get any sleep last night. I laid down to take a nap and I could not wake up. I could not wake up. And then I got up, I talked to him for a minute, went back to sleep, got up, read my book, came out here. He was gone. I knew he laid down. I let him lay down and then I went and got dinner and brought it back and got him up.
I was by myself all day.
I'm sure you enjoyed it.
Nope.
Bull.
Nope.
Bull.
That's why I ended up going laying down. I got bored.
What? I was giving you time to yourself. I don't have time for myself. You have time for yourself without me then, bitch.
I had too much time by myself.
You're going to start telling people that I'm your husband. We have the same name. We're the same age. Why not? That's always funny to me. You're like, I'm married to Orion Lee.
Well, you can have this one. Make it a collection.
You know, when I first met the person that I consider my son on here, his first name, he has two first names, and his first name and his middle name are Ryan Lee.
92.
I can't make that shit up. His name is Ryan Lee too. Can you knock it off?
Nope.
He was doing his games. He was fine. He is not the.
No, I was doing my game, but there's only so.
He was fine. I did not leave him to swim unattended in the kiddie pool. Like, he had his game. He was good. Look, I was up way before I normally was. I cannot just change my schedule around because he's home. Like, that's not how things work, nor should they be expected to be. I stayed up as long as I could. I was falling asleep.
Well, you didn't exactly
I thought-
follow the plan that you said we were going to do when you went to bed. So
I know that. I said that. Huh? Which one?
last night when we went to bed, you said, "Okay, here's what we'll do.
I know.
I'll get up and I'll read my book,
I know.
and then you can finish your book while I'm reading my book, and we can watch the movie." And instead, you went to bed for hours.
I know. I was there.
Left me alone.
I know. I was there. We actually came home and played the game for a while. Remember? That's why I got tired. I think that's why I got
We
tired.
did a dungeon together.
We did a couple.
No, we did main scenario.
Oh. No, I said, and then it reset, and I said, okay, cue us. So I think we did leveling. We did a leveling, and then I went to bed. I did get my book finished eventually. I went in there, and he was like, "Oh, it's gonna take you all night." It took me like 45 minutes. I didn't have nearly as much as I thought I did because I bought a special edition, and the end of it is the it's the like interview. So I didn't have nearly as much as I thought. So I only had to read, I don't know, like 70 pages or something, if that. So about 9 o'clock, about 9:30, instead of going live, I said, "Do you want to watch the movie tonight?" And he's like, "No." And I was like, "All right." So I went live.
It was already too late.
It would just now be getting over with.
Yeah, and I was supposed to be in bed 15 minutes ago.
Well, true. I mean, true.
And you wouldn't have been live.
True. So. You thought you were slick.
Mama, I know I'm sick.
So yeah, I'm gonna start book 2. I may even start it tonight. I don't know. I borrowed part 3 from the library, but it's hardcover, so I'm just gonna have to go buy part 3. They have part 4 at Walmart, so I can go pick up part 4 at Walmart when I'm ready. But I'm gonna have to order part 3 off of Amazon. So I've just kind of been. I haven't bought it yet because I got to finish part 2 anyway. So probably when I get about halfway through part 2, I'll probably order part 3.
Oh, part 5, the month it comes out.
Well, yeah, so will I.
Now
Hunger
the day it
Games.
comes out.
Hunger Games. I love the movies, and he finally taught, after years, he talked me into reading the books. The book at least book 1 stayed fairly accurate to the movie. There was added stuff that definitely should have been added to the movie, but like at least they didn't completely go jump the shark when they went to the movie. I could have just had your set. Yeah, that's the story of my life, right? Yeah, right now I just need part 3. I got part 1 and 2 at a used bookstore, so I got to go get 3, and then I'll have to get Songbirds, Ballads of Snakes and Songbirds. I'll have to get that one too. That one's at Walmart though. I saw that one. So yeah, we just got the got the set of Blu-rays. I do like Deadpool. That's why I'm going to go see it tomorrow. I bought another book by the author that I like. I like this author, and I don't know why. She has good plots. Like the plots are good. I don't like the way she writes, and her endings are awful. But I like her plots, so I read her books. I have probably 30 books that I wanted to donate, and my library wouldn't take them. Like, they're in good condition, but they're like, we don't. So I went to a different library. They're like, we'll take them. I'm like, you need them. Your selection sucks. So I'm gonna take them down there and give them away. Usually, once I read a book, for the most part, I'm pretty much done with it, which is why I buy a lot of my books used, because I'm just gonna donate them anyway. So I used to read books over and over, but now I don't have the time to finish a book, let alone read it multiple times. So once I've read it, for the most part, it just, goes. So I have the unread one right now is I have the unread Hunger Games Part 2, and then I have the unread book I just bought. I have 2 more to turn in. So but I used to read books repeatedly. I don't have the time anymore to do that. Yeah, I usually read true crime. I had read all the true crime in our library. They had to keep going and going out of the library system to get my books, because I'd read all the true crime ones. There's true crime ones I haven't read at the library currently now, that I've moved here, but usually I've noticed, as of late anyways, a lot of true crime books are filled with stuff that I don't see where it matters. I guess it's just easier to like read a short synopsis, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I have a John Bonet book, I think, that I'm getting. I think that's in my thing, or I might have just gotten rid of it. I don't know. I had sold a thing of true crime books, had a bunch of them. I was
Or not.
I did a lot with the John Bonet case. I still have the damn West Memphis 3 book for Kindle that I still have not finished. I'm barely into it. I completely forgot about it till just now. So that's another one I got to read, because I was doing updates on my TikTok with it, and I went sideways. Yeah, I used to read like haunted books. I read some of those. I don't know what it is about this house. Between 10 and 12, it gets warm at night. It's so weird. Like, it will be ice cold, and then all of a sudden between 10 and 12, it gets like warmer. Good night, Tara. Have a good night. So I had to put a hoodie on. I was cold. Now I'm warm. So I have never met. Is that your ex that you keep saying I'm exactly alike? I've never seen that person. You cannot read books and post them. It is copyright infringement. I actually had to take 2 or 3 down. I wasn't hit with it. I found out and I realized it, and I took them down. But yeah, you can't actually. It's like making an unauthorized
book report.
Right, but it's like making an unauthorized audiobook, essentially.
Yep.
So you cannot read a book without the author's express permission. You can read a book and talk about a book, but you cannot read a book word for word. You can, however, read Wikipedia word for word, which is where I do my true crime ones. I read from the Wikipedia. It's completely legal because it's a free source public database that's derived by many authors. So it's perfectly legal to read a Wikipedia. You follow a few channels that do that. Well, they better hope they never get found out, because I'm pretty sure they probably did not get the author's express permission. You can message, get a hold of the publisher and ask somebody if you can do it, because if they come across you, they can hit you with copyright, like for real copyright. I just had this like creepy feeling after I did it. I put up 2 videos and I was like, I wonder if you're even allowed to do that. And so I looked it up and I was like, oh shit. And I took them down. You cannot read a book word for word. Like I said, you can read a book and talk about it, discuss it. You could, read read a paragraph or something, but you cannot sit down and read a book cover to cover or chapter by chapter without the author's express permission. Yeah, you can read a book and discuss it all day long. That's a discussion. That's different. Your husband finished his 1966 Joker model today. Never really been a Joker fan.
Oh shit! Warrior's level 31, not even 50.
Oh, that sucks. He did Batman first. Never been a Batman fan. I do not like Harley Quinn. I like her aesthetic, but I've never gotten into any of that. Especially because there's this whole rhetoric about how Joker and Harley Quinn basically have a very abusive relationship. So,
very abusive relationship.
Yeah. So, can't really get behind that. And I would probably see myself way too much in her, more than likely, from what I've seen. So I don't. I've never been the superhero type of girl. I'm the anti-hero type of girl. Hence Deadpool, Venom, etc. I've never been the good guy person. I don't think the good guys are ever the good guys, and I always realize that the bad guys are not the bad guys. Bad guys always have redeeming qualities of some sort, and I always find myself drawn to those. Now, I'm not one of those like bad boy chasers, like thugs and all that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that in a lot of stories, people that you think are bad are probably bad because something happened to them. So I prefer that more than, the token good guy who's had a great life and he's a great guy. And it's like, yeah, you didn't know struggle, buddy. That dude's an asshole because he struggled. So I never really watched. I watched Iron Man, but I didn't pay attention. Like I watched it, the first one. I never watched any more after that. But I did watch the first one. Because the villain's story does always make you feel like they're a little validated. Saw is a perfect example of that. Saw, okay, so bear with me. This is a very odd take. Saw is a very uplifting movie. I'm not joking. It is done in a way that is macabre. Okay, I digress on the fact that it is macabre. Okay. But essentially, if I were to wrap it in a bow and stick some, blonde hair and a wig on it, think about it. It's about a man who finds out that he's sick, but he wasn't sick, and they took all of his money, and a robber killed his pregnant wife, killed his baby that he was building the puppet for, and so he went after the people who stole all of his money, pretended to do a brain surgery on him, and he learned that if you want to live, you will live, and if you don't want to live enough, you're not going to survive this. That's why, to me, it's like why that series is good to me. Like, yes, it's gruesome. Okay, it's gruesome. Like, nobody's gonna lie. It's obviously gruesome. But his point is, you wanted to take my life from me. Let's see how much you want to keep yours.
Because of the story that she's a bad guy because of the way he went about doing it.
Right. But it's the villain that you understand. It's the villain you understand. I totally understand it. 100%. It's about somebody who wants vengeance, which isn't a good thing. Vengeance is never a good thing, but I understand wanting. I've always understood. I understand vengeance. I don't do vengeance. I understand vengeance. I have a very vengeful way of thinking, but I do not have a vengeful way of being.
Send help.
Right. There's a couple of them with eyes, but yeah. You know, and and there was a person who escaped one of his traps. She wanted to live, and she did it. You know, and granted, she ended up joining him, but but again, because in her mind, in that fucked up plot, she realized that made her want to live, and other people should want to live, and but then, if you guys ever watched the story, she ended up, actually, he got really mad at her, because she took it to a level where you couldn't beat the game. And he's like, that is never what this has been about. He's like, I always give them a way to win the game. There will always be a way for them to win the game. It's whether or not they want to win the game. You are doing it for the wrong reasons. You are making the games where people cannot win them. Because no matter how macabre it was, there was always a way to win when Jigsaw did them. You could always tell the ones that Amanda did and not the ones, or later on when he had other people involved. You could tell the ones that Jigsaw did as opposed to the ones that other people did. Because there was another one that he had recruited that went off the cuff and decided they were going to do their own thing. He did it in a way that, yes, again, gruesome, yes, again, vengeful, but at the same time, he was trying to teach people a lesson. He just went about it the damn wrong way. So did I like Spiral? Here's the problem with Spiral. Number one, they said that Spiral was not going to be included in the Saw franchise. When Saw, quote unquote, 10 came out, they wanted to be able to say it was Saw 10. So they included Spiral in the anthology, which Spiral is not a Saw movie. It is a Saw spinoff. You cannot include a spinoff in an anthology according to movie standards, but they decided to do it anyway. When they decided to do Spiral, was it a good movie in and of itself? Yes. Did it follow the plot to a point? Yes. Was it set up for a sequel that would have made it make more sense? Yes. Did they do anything with it? No. That's why it failed. The movie in and of itself, had it been a separate movie, would have been okay. But they tried to fit it in to the Saw universe and then did not follow through. If there would have been a Spiral 2 that would have closed the gap on Spiral 1, it would have made sense. Like, for instance, I hated the Saw movie. When I first saw Saw for the first one, I hated that movie because there was too much that you just did not get it. It didn't make sense. Why is this happening? What is going on? Why was that guy seriously alive the entire time? Who is he? Why is he here? Why is he there was so many whys. I hated that movie. Saw 2 came out, explained part 1, and then you go back and watch part 1 knowing what you know now and go, oh, okay. And that's what had needed to happen with Spiral. Spiral was set up, and I knew that's what they were doing. They were going to do it like a what the fuck is going on, and then they're going to bring in a Spiral 2, and it'll make it all better. And they never did Spiral 2, and then decided to shove it into the Saw anthology universe, and it does not. It will never be a Saw 9. And that's how it is placed into the anthology as Saw 9, and it's not, it's Spiral. I will say, I'm sorry, one of the most genius things that ever happened in a Saw movie, by the way, you're going to want to mute this if you are a queasy person. I'll hold up my finger when you can unmute me. Okay. One of the best, and it really made me think, if I ever get put into a situation like this, how useful your intestines are. I never realized, because and fun fact, don't, not yet. Fun fact, the intestines are essentially extremely strong. And these people, they needed to reach something, and the guy was dead. So they used it as a rope, and I thought that is ingenious, and it worked. And that by far was one of the most life-saving things I've ever seen if I'm ever somewhere and need a rope and there's somebody next to me. You know what I mean? Okay, we're good now. So gruesome, yes. Ingenious, yes. So see, a lot of people talk about Terrifiers, and I tried to watch Terrifier and it just didn't the Terrifier 3 is apparently coming out. I thought there already was a Terrifier 3. There's a Terrifier 3 coming out in a couple of months. I could have swore there already was a Terrifier 3. No. Best scenes in horror movies. For anybody who likes, as my husband calls them, torture porn, Hostel takes the cake. It will always take the cake. Hostel is wild. But there is supposedly, and I think the reason why why Hostel was made is there is conspiracy theory, fringe society gossip that has not ever been confirmed nor denied, that maybe not to that extent, but to that extent, that stuff does happen overseas. And that's why most of them take place overseas. It's never been confirmed nor denied, however. It's not been denied either. That tourists get sold to hobbyists to do with as their liking. And that's something that's been talked about for years, even in America, but not to the point of Hostel. But that's why the Hostel movies take place overseas. So Terrifier has the best memes. Like I said, I tried to watch Terrifier. I tried to watch VHS. I tried to watch a few of them, and it just doesn't do it for me. You can like a genre without liking everything in it. There's movies that, like horror movies, that just don't hold my interest. Like, I used to be a big fan of the Friday the 13th movies when I was younger. And then as I got older, I realized that the whole point of horror movies that I like is, and I think that's why I like Saw so much, and even Scream, is because they make you think. Saw makes you think. You have to, because you're thinking, how would I get out of that? How would I do that? Why is it doing that? You know, for me, movies like Friday the 13th or Halloween, where it's just a dude in a mask and a jumpsuit who's slowly stalking towards you with a knife after a well-orchestrated sex scene, it gets tired after, part 2. And there's like 8 or 12 of them. So, I mean, it's like Freddy was a character, okay? Freddy, he was interesting. He was unique. He had humor. It was much easier for me to watch Freddy movies than ever, and as I got older, to ever watch Halloween or Friday the 13th. Horror does have a lot of different genres. I love dark comedies. Dark comedies are like comedies that have horror themes in them. Dark comedies, I love those. Because, like I said, I find a lot of horror funny because they're just dumb. Like, the people in them are dumb. So, like, I laugh at a lot of horror movies. So when it's a dark comedy, it's best of both worlds, because, like, it's like supposed to be funny. So dark comedy for me is like a really good genre, and it's really hard but it's hard to find good dark comedy. Now, I will say this. I like the Jason merch, like the Camp Crystal merch and all that. Like, he's got good merch. So does Halloween. Or not Halloween, It has good merch, and Friday the 13th has good merch, but I've never been a fan of any of it. It was ruined for me in 90, and when it came out in 90, because Tim Curry, I didn't know if it was supposed to be a horror movie or what it was supposed to be, because Tim Curry does not play a menacing character at all. So I never really understood what the genre was supposed to be for it. I've always wanted to watch it too, because I love Bill Skarsgård, but I actually never did watch them. Yeah, so this year, for it's supposed to be happening in October, I believe. There is a fucking Scaretober thing, and they're gonna have the people from Scream there, and we were thinking about going. when Scream came out and Skeet Ulrich was at that point, they had just put the Craft in the can, so Craft hadn't got big yet, and so Skeet comes on the scene right after Craft, and Craft failed, by the way, in the beginning. Now it's become a cult classic now, but in the beginning, the Craft did not do well. Okay, so when Skeet came on the scene for Scream, he was hailed the next Johnny Depp because he did resemble Johnny Depp in Johnny Depp's younger era, and Johnny Depp got his start. His very first movie was a Friday the 13th. Sorry, it was a Nightmare on Elm Street. Johnny Depp's first real movie was Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. He was eaten by the bed. He had a pretty big part. And so when Skeet came on, you know, he was the next Ooh La La. So I get it. I still can't believe that you guys had to tell me, and I did not believe, but they used AI on him, and that's why. I remember in the newest Screams, because, you know, they bring Skeet Ulrich back as a ghost, but whatever. They bring him back because the girl, you know, it has mental illness, and she sees him. And I thought, God, whoever they got to play Billy, it's awful. Like, they don't even, it's Skeet Ulrich. They have AI on him so that he still looks younger. And I would not believe you guys. I did not believe you guys. I had to look it up on IMDb on a live because I did not believe that was Skeet Ulrich. But they used AI on him so that he would not be his actual age. So, yeah, it's her dad. So, you know, there's these cutbacks, and, you know, she sees him, and I'm like, that dude don't even look like it. It's him. They just have AI on him, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, it did, like, and then I look up pictures of what Skeet Ulrich looks like now, and like, he just looks like an older self. But man, they AI'd him, and they AI'd him awful. I had no idea it was the same guy. My thing is this. Here, this is my thing for Scream. Okay? Anybody who actually follows Scream, who's been a big Scream aficionado their whole life, knows. And this is canon. Okay? Stu didn't die. Stu did not die. I can tell you 2 reasons how I know this. Number 1, the first rule in Scream, from Scream forward, every movie reiterates, you have to shoot them in the head or they come back. Every movie, at the end of the villain is always shot in the head. They have to be. Okay? And every time they don't, they shoot wherever. There's always that kill shot at the end, right? So there's that. So you go, well, okay, Stu wasn't shot. And you go, well, that's not enough. They didn't really start nailing that in until part 4. Here's the problem. Stu was written into Scream 3. That's a fact. When Scream 3 was written, Stu was written into the script. But then they decided to scrap that script. I can't believe I said that and didn't fuck up. They scrapped the script and decided to go with Scream's worst plot line in the entire series, which is Scream 3. Scream 3 is awful. That by far, like, when I bought the, you can buy, like, you know how you go to Walmart and you buy like the series, whatever, and they have, we can get like part 1 and part 2. There's one where you get part 1, part 2, part 3. I buy that one, so I have part 3. I do not watch part 3. Part 3, by and far, every person who likes Scream knows Scream 3 is the throwaway plot. It was awful, and they should have went with the original plan of bringing Stu back. So here's my deal. For if Scream writer is in here, if Kevin Williamson is in here, or anybody else, Wes Craven, he's passed, I think, now. I need you to finish Scream. Now, Stu does not have to be the killer. Okay, he does not have to be the killer, but he has to make a cameo. I do not care if the kids run into a hotel and he's the hotel keeper. I don't care if they're running down the street and they bump into him and he jerks back to look. Stu has to have a cameo. And Matthew Lillard, like, went on when they were filming, I believe it was Scream 6. It might have been Scream 5, but I know it was Scream 5 or Scream 6. He made the comment because a lot of people were like, is he going to be in? Is he going to be in? Is he going to be in? And he made the comment. He was at some type of a fan fest. And he's like, yeah, I'm just sitting here waiting. Like, he's got to, I don't care how they do it. I do not care how they do it. He has to be there. He has to be there. I don't care what they do. He can pull, what was it? Wasn't Wes, the janitor in, Stephen King does that too. Stephen King puts himself in a movie. So does M. Night Shyamalan. But to just have that cameo, that's all I need. Just a cameo. Just the, aha, I fucking told you so. Because people don't believe that Stu isn't dead. And even when you go in, and this should tell you something, like even when you go into the museum that's in the movie where they built a museum with all the artifacts and whatever, they make a comment about the damn TV. He was the only death of a villain that did not get one in the head. And that was the TV. He got a TV to the head, and that's why people were like, it's to the head. We'll accept it. But only when it came out later, more Scream 4, Scream 5 time, when they were reviving the series, did it come out that he was written into the third plot. But supposedly, I guess, according to my friend, the next Scream, Scream 7, is supposed to act like 5 and 6 didn't happen, which is really weird. But then again, there's this part that pops into my head. If you guys remember at the beginning of 4, which by the way, okay, first of all, Scream to begin with defined a genre, much like Blair Witch did. You guys have heard me say this a million times, but I'm gonna lengthen it here. When Scream came out, they killed off the big star. That was unheard of in a horror movie. That was unheard of. We were so confused when Drew Barrymore was like, we didn't understand how that doesn't happen. Well, Scream 4 has a brilliant beginning. Scream 4 has the best, I mean, except for that Scream 4 has an amazing beginning. And they mention in here, and like, this is what I don't think anybody's caught this. But if they're going to make Scream 7 act like 5 and 6 didn't exist, when they were talking about the Stab movies, which is supposed to be the Scream version of, when they made the movies of Scream, they made them into Stab, right? And they were like, how this one jumped the plot, that one jumped the plot, and then this one went back in time and acted like the other two didn't exist. They said that, or something to that effect, in the beginning of 4. So like, I'm like, so is this really supposed to be, these are Stab movies? Because that's exactly what happened if you think about it. Because they're like, and then there was that one Stab movie where he had a gun, and then in the last one he did. So if Scream is following Stab, it would make sense for 7 to erase 5 and 6 like Stab did. Right. If you didn't live through the advertising phenomena of Blair Witch, you will not understand. For people, for kids to pick up the movie now, they pick it up and they go, this is lame. Okay, but you don't understand the advertising that went into that movie. Like, it was advertised and fully believed, because found footage was not a thing until Blair Witch. Blair Witch was the creating basis of found footage films. Another tongue twister. And then, films like Cloverfield, etc., jumped on the bandwagon when it blew up. But when they marketed Blair Witch, they marketed it full and clear as an actual case that these kids were absolutely missing. They absolutely found this, and because there'd never been found footage films before, we all bought into it. We didn't know. The advertising was wild. And then if you guys, I don't know if I'm sure the people, okay, so Randella Ryans, I'm sure you know this. When they did the Burkittsville, there wasn't a part 2, but there was a Blair Witch part 2, which was then Hollywoodized. But there was something called like Welcome to Burkittsville or something, and it went into all the lore behind Blair Witch, which then even made it worse, because like they went to a town and they interviewed the people and they talked about all the history, and like it really nailed it it was a companion to Blair Witch. It wasn't a part 2, it was like a companion, a short piece. And so that really nailed home that Blair Witch was supposed to be real. Blair Witch 2 was done on a Hollywood budget, but I love Blair Witch 2. It was not. It was done as a Hollywood scary movie, standard fare. But I really liked Blair Witch 2. I thought it was good. Yeah, as a teenager in the 90s, it made all the sense. It made all the sense. You lived near Maryland and were mad at all the tourists it brought in, right? You know, they went out to the scene and here's where the house was, and this guy knew this person, and they did a really good job at effectively just, you know, filling our heads with absolute bullshit. I went to see it in theaters. Matter of fact, I went to see it in theaters, and like I went to see that, and then I turned right around like the next week or something, and I went to go see The Sixth Sense. And there's a scene in The Sixth Sense where he comes in, and the mom is standing at the kitchen sink, and she's like getting angrier and angrier, and she turns around, and her face is all busted up. I was that one idiot in the theater that screamed, because I hate jump scares. I friggin' hate jump scares, and that jump scared me, and it wasn't even supposed to jump scare me, and it did, and I literally screamed in the theater. It was so bad, so bad. Well, yeah, Paranormal Activity was found footage as well, but that happened after Blair Witch. By then, there was a niche that was made by making found footage films. I love Cloverfield. A lot of people cannot handle it. It gives a lot of people headaches from vertigo from watching the camera swing back and forth. For me, I love found footage. Loved found footage. The Paranormal Activities got real weird after a while. The newest one was just like, what the fuck? Like, I watched it and I'm just like, what? No, there's only one thing that will get me to like, hell no, out of a freaking horror movie is Ceiling Walkers. Very, very there is one thing. Well, actually, there's a part two. There's two things. Ceiling Walkers. I will nope the hell out of a fucking ceiling walker. There's a ceiling walker. I will climb under and over somebody. Like, I do not enjoy ceiling walkers. And then the other thing is contortion. And I will tell you, there is a contortion scene unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. I want to say it was at the time, it was the newest Conjuring movie. I believe it's still the newest Conjuring movie. And about 8 minutes in, there is a contortion scene unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. Like, I was not okay. I was not okay. Shut up, dude. Shut up. Do you know how much I don't like stairs because of that movie? Because they had to add that scene in that movie. Like, I'm not okay with that movie to begin with. Okay. And I was stupidly decided I'm going to watch the remake. Stupidly decided I was going to watch the remake. And they put that goddamn stair scene in. And I swear to God, I cannot go by stairs in a house without my heart in my fucking throat to this day because of that stupid scene. To this day. Cannot do it. Cannot. I saw it when it first came out and I've never seen it again. That stair scene was awful. Awful. That was up there with Ceiling Walkers. It may have trumped Ceiling Walkers. I think I have 3. Stair Walkers, Ceiling Walkers, and Contortion. Nope, I was done. I did not see that coming. I did not know it was coming. And when it came, oh my God, I noped so bad, dude. I was flipping my shit. That is like Contortion meets Ceiling Walkers. It was like the worst thing that could ever be. Like, I cannot even believe that they decided to come up with that. I'm good. That scene is awful. That was so bad. I'm telling you, I want to say it was the latest Conjuring, because this was only a year or two ago that I seen it. The latest Conjuring, I think it's about 8 minutes in, is a contortion scene unlike any contortion scene I've ever seen in my life. It is, I don't even know how they did it. They had to have AI'd it. Like, if somebody could do the things that I saw, you know, in Exorcism of Emily Rose, do you know that Jennifer Carpenter did all of her contortions? And her contortions they were not good. They were unsettling, because not only did she do the contortionism, but the looks on her face when it would cut to her was wild. You have a hard time watching cannibal movies? I don't watch cannibal movies, but I do. I have a very distinct interest in serial killers who do it. I find it fascinating. Yeah, I don't like shower curtains. You ever been in somebody's house you never been in? You're going to the bathroom and they have a shower curtain and you literally go just to make sure there's nobody in it? Yeah, that's me. Cannibalism is illegal. It's a process you get to meet it. No, actually it is. They actually have it as a law in a lot of states. The fact that they had to make it a law is wild. You stay in the supernatural horror subgenre, yeah. I like slasher movies, but I like I don't know if you call them slashers, but like the ones that bother me, that I seem to flock to, are the ones that could happen like in real life, like The Purge. Like if the Purge were to happen, that could happen, and like The Strangers, or funny games, or things like that, where it's just out of the blue, person against person, diabolical, out of nowhere, no reasoning, and could totally happen. Like that, those are the ones that I'm like, I would never let Ember watch those. That was my one thing. I'm like, look, you want to watch Ghosties and Ghoulies? Fine. What you're not going to watch is shit that can actually happen. I don't need that fucking with you. That was the one thing I ever put my foot down on. She was not allowed to watch that kind of stuff.
Which 10-1 probably pushed her to just go behind her backs and do it.
Nah, she didn't super like horror movies. That's why me and Christian always watched them together. If the Purge happens, I'm heading to Fort Knox. I got haters. Yeah, the paranoia is real. You can't go to tanning beds because of Final Destination. I know, right? Final Destination did a great job of taking normal things and making you terrified of them. Like going to the dentist, getting LASIK eye surgery, tanning beds, NASCAR matches, logging trucks. I don't know a person at this point that does not see a logging truck and move over. Or take a picture and be like, Final Destination. Like, the logging truck scene fucked with us. It was done so well that it lives in infamy in horror. Like, let's just be real. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, it was part 2. It was not even the first one. But that logging truck scene was done so well that it affects everybody 20 years later. Yeah, I know. There's been a new one coming out for 4 years. Okay. And my friend sent me a trailer.
That takes its time getting back with you.
My friend sent me a trailer. She's like, no, it's really happening this time. I went on IMDb. And I'm not saying that it may not happen, but I'm telling you, I looked for the calendar for all of 24 and 25, and it's not on there yet. So either they haven't put it in the can and got a date, which is possible, or for the 4th year running, it's coming out. But I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. Oh yeah, supposedly I guess this one's supposed to be Bloodlines. It's supposed to be Final Destination Bloodlines, which I'm not quite understanding how that's gonna work. I mean, look, I love Final Destination. It's one of my very favorite collections. But when they made Part 5 the prequel, it rolled the movie. Okay, Part 5 was amazing because you did not see that coming at all. You had no idea that Part 5 was the prequel until the last scene. And so if you have up to Part 4 and 5 rolls back to Part 1, you only could go off of technically Part 4. Which, I mean, it could be done, but it's been years. But, I mean, Scream resurfaced after 10 plus years. Halloween did it. I Know What You Did Last Summer is coming out again next year, guys. I Know What You Did Last Summer is coming out again. And Jennifer Love Hewitt is in it. Probably as, like, I think what she's going to do is a Jamie Lee Curtis Halloween type thing. Like, it's still going to be coming after her after all these years type deal. I'm going to see it, of course. Why not? It's on the market for, I want to say summer of next year. Yeah. I was wild. I was like, oh, yeah, cool. But Final Destination was not on there. That movie has been promised for 4 freaking years. And for 3 years, they had the same supposed movie poster. Now, supposedly, my friend sent me a video. I did not watch it. I probably should have. I will. I got sidetracked. But, yeah, it's supposed to be coming out. I just don't know how they're going to do a Bloodlines edition. That doesn't make sense to me. But that was definitely a cool twist to see that 5 was actually the prequel. Because they did not set you up for that at all. They didn't allude to it. They didn't set you up for it. It was just...
For anybody who hasn't seen it yet.
Oh, God, babe, the movie's like 10 years old.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I don't say how it's a prequel. It's a prequel, but I'm not saying how, just in case somebody hasn't.
Movies out there you haven't seen.
Probably. They redo Freaky Friday about every 20 years. The original came out in the 70s, and they redid it at the end of the early 90s, and now they're going to redo it again. By the way, that same concept was in Like Father, Like Son in 1988 with Dudley Moore and Kirk Cameron. Like Father, Like Son. I want to say it's... Is it bothering you? Obviously, it's bothering you.
And it's 12 o'clock.
Okay.
So I'm just going to bed then?
No, I'm going to get off here. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. I've been talking for 2 hours. So, I may be on tomorrow. What do you think? Maybe?
If you have time to.
Yeah, I may be on tomorrow. Oh, it's going to be them again? Weird. Oh, well, no. Are they doing it again? All right. All right, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. I got some stuff to do before he goes to bed. Have a good night.